Well, the Treasurer has concluded his three-day economic roundtable in Canberra with business leaders. Tax changes are on the table. Joining me now is Independent MP Dai Le. Good morning to you, as always. I mean, taxes, never a good topic, always a little bit prickly. What's your take on it all?
Look, I'm quite, in terms of any roundtables, in terms of talkfest, I often say, really, what are the real immediate, solutions for families and small businesses that are really struggling with the cost of living. We know that there has to be a way for the government to recoup some revenue because of the increased spending. That is going to be, and taxes is a very controversial issue. And how do you do that in order to support, in particular, small businesses and struggling families that are out here doing it tough in areas like Fowler and Southwest Sydney, low to middle income, where people are struggling to put food on the table, getting their kids to school that are on a full stomach. So there are a lot of issues here. And I think it's great every time. Like last term, the government had a skills and jobs summit, and the outcomes of that, costs are still increasing for in particular small business. So I just don't know how productive, even though it's a productivity roundtable, the whole roundtable will be for families and small businesses.
I'll get to businesses in a second, but Di, put simply, our taxes are too high because our government spends too much. I mean, Chalmers has ruled out a formal tax review, but is talking about a restructure. What would you like that to look like?
Well, I'm no economist, but I have already advocated for looking at our income tax threshold, because most of the taxes come from PAYG, and our income tax threshold currently is around $18,200 is when your tax government starts to tax you. But that figure, the $18,200, is actually a 2012 figure. It's my understanding, and we're now in 2025. So I think that the government needs to do something about our income tax threshold. That is very important. And taxing, for low to middle income, which I know that the Labor government, when they got into power in last term, they took the $1,500 tax offset for small to middle income. So those are just the things that I advocated for communities like Fowler and Southwest Sydney. But overall, the whole tax, and I know that one of, Allegra Spender, the member for Wentworth, led the way with her tax roundtable. And obviously there are many issues in there in terms of taxing. But I think one of the things that the government talked and we've heard is about taxing unrealised gains, which I think that's just not fair. You can't, tax unrealised gains there. But there are many issues around tax. Our tax system, and we need to really have a very sensible conversation around that.
As I said, tax is always a difficult discussion for anyone to have. Let's talk about business. I mean, Chalmers spoke about finding an affordable way to incentivise business investment. But business investment has been declining rapidly for years. And the reality is, Di, chief execs are moving their money out of Australia. How do we change that?
Oh, God, there's a huge question there, Holly. I think for many of my local small businesses, the cost of shipping, as we know, that's in a fragmented global economy, that is really hurting small businesses here. And they are one of the biggest employers, right? A small business is the engine of our national economy as well as our local economy. They employ people. And without giving them any support, in terms of tax relief, that's going to be very hard for small business to really carry that burden to lift this economy up. So I think we have to do a lot more for small business, especially those that are run by family-run small businesses here in Fowler, predominantly run by migrant and refugee families who are just trying to make ends meet. The government needs to really look at that. And I don't see at that economic roundtable any of those representatives there at that roundtable who can talk about the issues that are the challenges faced by many small businesses at all.
I mean, and there are also, you know, a lot of talks yesterday about the NDIS cuts, and I guess very much the test on that will be the delivery as well on that, of course, will impact many people, some in your electorate most likely as well. We do have to wrap things up, but before you go, Dai, I just wanted to get your thoughts. Are you worried that recognising a Palestinian state could trigger further violence on Australian streets? Of course, these are the comments and suggestions of the Israeli PM.
Can I say, Holly, and I think I've mentioned on this program before in other media outlets that I as somebody who lived through a war, I think any wars, it really kills, it's the innocent peoples that are at risk here. For me, living in a very multicultural, representing a multi-faith, multicultural community, I stand for peace, and I think that Hamas needs to release the hostages. But at the same time, Israel has to stop bombing and killing innocent lives in Palestine. So we need to be very, very mindful that Australia is a wonderful country. We embrace and open our arms to people like myself, and we have rebuilt and we're giving back. And I think we are the best positioned to do that compared to any other countries in the world, where we have created a cohesion. And I hope we maintain that cohesion, and that's what we're about. And so I think that we can't play into that whole division.
I mean, yes, a lot of people, most Australians just want peace and calm. But when you've got the leader of Israel saying that our Prime Minister is rewarding terrorism, it's a very serious allegation and suggestion, and must concern leaders like yourself.
Look, it is a concern that perhaps, the Prime Minister has to say, he talked about recognising Palestine. And in a two-state solution, as I said before, you need to recognise, security. And it's like a marriage. If you don't recognise another partner, then it's not a marriage, right? But absolutely, I think, it is a concern. And I think, but I think at the end of the day, Australia, we are a sovereign country, and we should stand for, from my perspective, as somebody who lives in a very multicultural and multi-faith society and community, I want to ensure that external tensions do not come, into Australia and create tension that we sow, and the peace that we've, valued, and it's a standard that we have and we will have to uphold.
Dai Le, thank you as always for your time. Appreciate it. It's great to see you.
Thanks, Holly.